Welcome to HyperProfit. I'm Andru Edwards, and while none of this is financial advice, today we're talking about one of my favorite long-term stocks, Apple, ticker symbol AAPL, and the incredible earnings report they just dropped. Now, this quarter was very unique, and I'll explain why in a moment. First, let's get started by taking a look at my public portfolio and how it's been doing over time, especially in the volatile market that we've been in over the past 6 weeks or so. So here we are. This is one of the rare videos being recorded while the market is open. I typically do these in the aftermarket, but as you can see here, for the day, we're down 1.98%. For the week, we are up 3.51%. For the month, we're up 5.94%. For the past 3 months, we are down 9.48%. For the past year, up 10.1%. And then all time up 10.31%. So as you saw, a lot of volatility there, but it looks like there's a potential that might come to an end within the next couple of weeks. We'll see. Now on to Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. Let's get into these insane earnings. Do me a favor and hit the like button if you enjoy these kinds of videos, and subscribe so you don't miss any future content. So taking a look at Apple, as you can see, they're sitting at $134.20 per share. If I scroll down, you can see I own just over 319 shares of Apple at an average cost of $117.33 at a market value of $42,814, giving me a total return of 14.39%, or just about $5,400 in profit. I do also have a few call options on Apple that are expiring in mid-June. Now, I do have more Apple shares in Webull since I do a lot of my buying in the pre-market and aftermarket. If you want to join the rest of us here on this channel and get an extra 8.5 hours of trading time each day, I'll leave a link to Webull down in the description below. So today, Apple announced their second quarter 2021 earnings results, and they were staggering. Apple generated $89.6 billion in revenue, resulting in $23.6 billion in profit. To put those numbers into perspective, Apple generated nearly $90 billion in revenue during the second quarter of 2021, which is just a couple billion less than the revenue it generated during the holiday quarter of calendar year 2019. That was an all-time high and remained the all-time high until the 2020 holiday quarter beat it. Apple's business is more seasonal than many people might realize. People buy a lot of iPads and Macs during the holiday quarter, and of course the fact that the new iPhones launch every fall results in even more revenue for that time frame. Holiday quarters are the biggest for Apple and have been for years. But this quarter, the second quarter, this January through March quarter, is the size of a holiday quarter. It's unprecedented. It's the third largest fiscal quarter Apple has ever had in its entire history. Looking at the different product categories, Mac revenue was $9.1 billion, which is up an incredible 70% versus Q2 2020. That's an all-time record high quarter for the Mac, likely spurred by Apple's migration over to its own M1 chip away from Intel. iPad revenue was $7.8 billion, which is up an even crazier 79% versus Q2 2020. Apple has been on fire with the iPad to the point where no other tablet even comes close to the power when you look at the iPad Pro. They just announced a new iPad Pro last week as well, with a first of its kind mini LED display coming next month. Now, how about the iPhone? 3 years ago, many people said we had reached peak iPhone, and that if Apple didn't do something quickly to find other products or services to generate revenue, they'd be on a rapid decline. Well, iPhone sales were up huge a year ago, and here in Q2 2021, they're up even more. iPhone is up 66%, generating $47.9 billion. The two other line items of note are going to be wearables, which is things like the AirPods and Apple Watch. Wearables generated $7.8 billion, up 25% over last year. Then there's services. That's revenue from things like Apple Music, Apple Card, Apple Pay, Apple Care, Apple Fitness Plus, Apple TV Plus, etc. Services generated $16.9 billion and was up 27% versus Q2 2020. Now, if you've ever wondered why Apple makes such a big deal about how it's growing its services line, this is why. Apple's services margins for the quarter were 70%. And while the services line didn't grow at the same rate as the hardware sales, it continued its run of double-digit growth with a 27% year-over-year boost of its own, netting Apple $16.9 billion in revenue. And Apple keeps a higher percentage of that revenue as profit than it does for an iPhone, iPad, or Mac. That is why Tim Cook loves services so much. Apple didn't provide specific guidance for the current quarter due to everything going on in the world, but they do expect some issues due to the chip shortages. That said, several analysts have increased their Apple price targets. JP Morgan's new target for Apple stock is $165 per share, while Cowen has increased their target for Apple stock to $180 per share. Like I said, Apple is one of my favorite long-term buy and holds. Aside from all the popular products that they currently have, we've got the new phones coming later this year. We've got upgrades to the premium Mac lines. And of course, looking even longer term, there are the AR glasses and Apple's electric vehicle that are heavily rumored to be coming as well. Now, drop a comment down below letting me know if you're holding any Apple stock or if this is a stock that you pretty much avoid. I'll meet you there for further discussion. Thanks for watching as always, guys. I appreciate your support. I'm Andrew Edwards, and I'll catch you in the next video.